Hey everybody, this is Perch. Hey, hope you're having a great Christmas here. It's the holiday, and I'm gonna spend some time with Joe. How you doing, Joe?
I'm all right, Perch. How are you?
It's been a crazy year, but we've seen a lot of changes in comics, and I was just thinking maybe it's time for me to start writing comics. What do you think? Do you think I should try it out this next year?
Well, considering some of the people writing comics right now, I don't see why not.
Yeah, it could be fun. Why not? I've been working really hard. I've got some ideas for some comics to pitch to you, and I'm curious to get your opinion because you've seen a ton of pitches in your time.
I've seen a ton of pitches. I've written a few. I'd be more than happy to look over some of these pitches you got.
Okay, well, here let me just throw this one at you. So, I was thinking, DC's been struggling a little bit, so I think they have a new writer for Superman, but this is what I think. What if deconstructed? What if everything we knew about Superman was wrong? What if we learned that the explosion of Krypton was just in Kal-El's mind? It was just implanted there. A complete change of everything we knew about the character, everything that we thought about Kryptonians, because what we learn is that this is how Kryptonians actually abort unwanted children. They rocket them off into space surrounded by rocks that would poison them if they came home, and they implant a false story about their origin. So they would immediately learn to become self-reliant. And basically, Superman, he comes to understand this. It shakes his world to his core. He discovers his parents are actually living happy and healthy without any children, going on space vacations and having whiskey tastings and occasional swapping parties with other Kryptonians. It would completely shake up Superman. What do you think?
I like where you're going with this. I like where your head's at.
Okay.
I like the idea. You want to, go for a twist, and a stupid monster that murders Kryptonians has been done a lot.
It's true. I thought of that first, but then you're right. It has been done.
Yeah, but people like when it comes to Superman, people want more grounded stories. I have no idea why. He's an alien that can do anything from space.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But people are really like to lean into that dark, gritty, miserable nightmare Superman that Zack Snyder gave us. So
yeah, okay.
When I'm thinking about something like Superman, hear me out here.
Okay.
What if we start with a series of flashbacks to like a young Clark visiting his grandma, Grandma Kent, in the nursing home. And, she's dying in this nursing home. It's really pulling people's heartstrings because she's very old and hard to look at. And she's just dying, and there's tears just coming down, Clark's face, like really manipulate people's emotions. Don't allow them to think about how they should feel about the situation.
No, just sad feelings. Yes, I'm with you.
That's very important. You don't want to give anyone time to think.
Good.
So you go through something like that. Now we skip ahead. Here we go. We skip ahead. We got Parasite laying low, working as a janitor in a nursing home.
Oh,
how about that? And he's so he's just murdering old people, and he's getting away with it because they're old.
Right.
Yeah. This is like gritty, dark. I mean, Zack Snyder, this might even hit Christopher Nolan levels.
Yes.
And that's what people want in their fun comic books about a Superman.
I like that. And if you could get John Romita Jr. to draw it, the characters would be hard to look at. It would be perfect.
Exactly. And the thing here is, you then got to couple that, you got to tie it all together. So you have this is going to be it's got to take place in Metropolis because Parasite's too fucking stupid to do this away from Superman.
Yes, absolutely. He could go to Gotham. Yeah.
Yeah, so Clark is, I don't know, he's going to do a story there, or is he a blogger now? No one cares. So whatever Clark is doing, he ends up at this nursing home, and then here's where all that writer's workshop stuff kind of comes in. You tie this part to the beginning. Remember when we were getting everyone to cry uncontrollably because old people were dying?
You got me. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's all full circle. Now, Clark remembers the only time in his life before this where an old lady died. And now we get Clark brutally punching Parasite nearly to death because of this flashback he's having. So that way it's dark, it's gritty, but you're also sad all the time. And I think that's what people want.
That's what Superman's been missing.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. So I speaking of dark and gritty and sad, I have a pitch on the other company for Marvel.
Ooh, okay.
And it kind of has the same kind of, so, work with me here. 3 words: Mysterio fake 9/11. And that's the hook. And basically, it's revealed that the Twin Towers are actually still standing, but they're invisible. And they're used as a base for the villains. This is kind of where they hang out. There's a bar with no name, but really, when they go to sleep at night, they don't sleep in that bar. They go to the Twin Towers, and that's where they're hanging out. It's the worst kind of people. But because of the villainy and the hatred and the sadness and the anger that is constantly going on in these ghost buildings, the buildings themselves gain sentience and then revolt against humanity, kind of running amok on the streets of Manhattan. And that's a big event. It's like our summer event.
Okay, so a few things there. First, I like where you're going with this.
Yeah. There's some tie-ins with this. I think definitely the Fantastic Four.
No, absolutely. It's going to be curious to a lot of people how all this happened under the nose of the Fantastic Four.
Right. Exactly.
All these other people. You would think the Watcher would be. If the Watcher cared about Reed and Sue's wedding, you'd think he'd be all over this, but clearly not.
Well, you could actually reveal that he's been hanging out, like just watching, but he could see the buildings, but other people couldn't. So they're like, what's this bald dude in a diaper just doing, hanging out, looking at nothing? And it's like, he's looking at this.
There you go.
Looking at the tribute site.
Yeah, no, this would be good. This offers Marvel an opportunity to retcon stuff that happened years ago without thinking it through and causing there to be more problems than there initially were.
Absolutely. Yes.
And that's really the goal. But I think, if you're going to do something like this, it's important that you use a lot of like D-list Spider-Man villains and just make them like jokes and memes. If you could have like the Spot recreate some memes I saw on Twitter recently,
that would be a good one. Yes.
Yeah. No, that would be great. Or you know what? If you could do there's the meme. It's the guy, and he's looking at the one girl, and then the other girl's upset. Like, if we could do something like that with maybe, what if it's like Bullseye's the upset girl, and it's Kingpin, like looking at like the Spot.
Yes, exactly. We were like, why would the Kingpin look at the Spot? But
it's funny. And then, but we can also do something cool where maybe the Spot makes the big spots, and he teleports the towers around in the different buildings, throwing them through things, because that's not actually something he could probably do himself. But I really only just skimmed the Wikipedia, and there's spots that teleport, so I think it's fine.
Yeah, it should be fine. I mean, the cool part is you could run this whole story where when they start to appear, people kind of suspect Miss Marvel's behind it, but then it's like, nope, that's wrong, and then she gets a redemption arc.
Nice, yeah. I think if this is going to work, everyone I think kind of needs a redemption arc. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it more, I think we're going to have to introduce some sort of Spot having maybe like a daughter, like a Spotette or something like that.
Exactly. You bring kids and some emotion into the picture. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and then they can have a dog. Wait for it. Name Spot.
On the nose. Perfect.
Right. Perfect. Yeah. So we do something. Yeah. We incorporate that into it.
I'm calling up Tobolsky. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think we're onto something there. I think that's sort of, your your Hook. And, I think when people read this, they're going to have a hard time not chef's kissing.
There will be a lot of chef kissing. Absolutely.
It's going to be the GOAT.
For sure. I mean, it's topical. It's timely. I'm strong on this idea. I think it could work for sure.
Yeah, no, kids are going to be holding this comic and dabbing on TikTok,
Yeah, that's what I hope for.
That's what we need in this industry. Yeah. If we're going to boost sales, that's what we need. I'm thinking, because a fun thing with Marvel is, wordplay, things like that. You take a word people are expecting and you mess around with it.
I love that.
So, a lot of people like Punisher Max, for example. People go back to that. They say Garth Ennis, that's a man who could, do a Punisher or two in his day. So wait for it. Again, here we go. You sitting down?
I'm ready.
Punisher Drax.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Right? Because the rhymes.
It does.
And we're going to do that. And that way, we do stuff. It's in space. People like space. They like those Guardians of the Galaxy movies. They know Drax from the movies.
Yes. It's merchandising timed brilliant.
Absolutely. I think this is, it's printing money. It's also a very original idea because I never read Space Punisher by Frank Thierry and Max Teixeira.
Yeah, that's a book. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, no, I don't know it exists either, which makes this a very original idea.
It doesn't matter then. Yes.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter that this was less than a decade ago.
No, I don't remember those things. It doesn't. No. Who cares? If we didn't read it, it didn't happen. So perfect.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
And Drax, beautiful.
Yeah. And now while we're rhyming, Drax Max, here's another one for you.
Okay.
Dazzler Max.
Okay.
Here's the thing with Dazzler Max. We go back to Disco Dazzler because that's what we do every few years. We go back to Disco Dazzler.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because it's a Max title, she can be coked out of her fucking mind the whole
beautiful
comic,
yes.
And we do stuff like that. She's just like in these like sleazy sort of like dive bars in the city, getting into all sorts of mischief. She should probably, I don't know, accidentally kill a couple of people because she's coked out, and then she does something and then everyone forgives her. Marvel likes to do that, right?
Well, yeah. And I mean, look at like popularity things like The Flight Attendant right now on HBO. Everybody loves hot looking women killing people. It's just, it always works. People love that shit.
Absolutely. And because it's, Dazzler, she sings. So every issue can be like the title of, maybe like a David Bowie song or something. So that way people know we're hip and cool when we're putting this comic together, maybe, we start with something like, Ashes to Ashes or something like that. And, we could do something like that, Aladdin Sane. I don't know how that would work, but we figure it out. We come up with the title and we'll figure it out.
You come up with a title, the story writes itself. I mean, you've done all the work. You get the song title, you get the character, you add some coke, she kills people. It just, you don't really need more of a plot than that.
No, I think the important thing is you just get we get a really good artist for the cover, and then we'll figure out who does the interiors.
It could save a lot of. I was thinking something similar around trying to maximize money and also tap into things that are really popular. And I don't know if you've been noticing, but like both DC and Marvel have these black, white, and red or black, white, and blood kind of comics. It saves them color on printing, saves them costs on printing. What am I saying? Saves them costs on coloring.
Yeah.
And it's hip. Everybody loves those books. Like every single person I've talked to absolutely thinks those are the future. So what about we do The Invisible Woman, but it's black, white, and nothing. And the comic is just blank pages with the words on there. And it fits, right? Because it's the Invisible Woman. We save a ton of money on art. I mean, Bendis is already over at DC, but we can find some good writers to fill up those, and then just fuck the art. You don't really need art for the Invisible Woman anyway. That's the last thing people want to see.
Well, here's the only note I really have on this, because sold. But
yeah,
the thing is, one of the only things I or anyone else knows about the Invisible Woman is that Namor really wants to fuck her.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're gonna have to figure out an artist who could at least put Namor in a few places, because readers are going to be expecting Namor to be trying to have sex with the Invisible Woman in this.
I think you'd probably still own that artwork from John Byrne back for Namor, because nobody actually read that book. So you could just take some of those panels and then just put it in the book, and it would be fine.
Okay. Yeah. No. I think. All right. Yeah. No. That'd be good.
You get to say John Byrne's on your book, which would be great, but you don't have to deal with John Byrne. It's brilliant.
No, it's great. It's like that Steve Ditko variant on Spider-Man 700 all over again. Okay. It's great. People love that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Speaking of Spider-Man, here's a missing opportunity. I feel like not enough people have really delved into. Which there's a lot of room to flesh out the story. Everyone talks about how Uncle Ben, got shot and killed while Spider-Man was off, wrestling or, playing pool, whatever he was doing that night.
Yeah, jerking off somewhere.
Yeah, whatever he was doing. So what if we tell the story in painful detail of the hours before Uncle Ben died?
Oh, it's untapped material. We've never heard that story.
No. So what? Here's the thing. It's called Uncle Ben One Last Night.
Oh,
man, they're gonna know what it's about because of the title.
Yes. Just got chills.
Right, and then here's what we do with that. In that short period of time, Uncle Ben gets a call from one of his old army buddies. I knew he was in the army because I checked Wikipedia earlier.
Nice. Okay.
Right? Yeah. No, this is right. All canon.
Perfect.
So one of his army buddies is in trouble. Not the one making the call, so someone else. So it's like a buddy cop kind of situation where the two of them are going to have to go, save their friend. And it turns out their friend was kidnapped by soon-to-be main antagonist of Spider-Man, Doc Ock.
Oh.
And
wow.
Peter's never going to know how brave his uncle was and how his uncle defeated Doc Ock before he took on the mantle of Spider-Man.
That's got the potential to be like the next Batman Hush right there.
Absolutely. And I mean, hopefully people don't ask questions like, well, why didn't Doc Ock ever mention that ever in the several decades after that happened in the comics? But I think if you could just look past some of that stuff, that's really, you're just like being a nerd and a cynic if you're going to ask questions like that.
No, for sure. That we don't. Yeah. Comic is no place for nerds and cynics. You don't.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So I think absolutely. I think it could be like the next Dark Knight even.
There's the potential. I mean, imagine the depth, and you could do. How many issues would you be thinking to pull that out from? I mean, that's more than just one comic story.
It's anywhere from 5 to 8 issues, minimum, because a lot's happening here. We gotta pad this out with a lot of flashbacks.
I mean, if you could get Tom King to come back and write a 12-issue maxi series for that's probably. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, and then what you do is 24 is old enough now. We go back, do that like 24 style where there's like the ticking clock.
Yes, exactly. To his last minutes.
It adds tension to the story because people know it has to take place over the course of a short amount of time.
Yeah, there's an end point.
Yeah.
Wow. That is an amazing idea, and I love that deconstruction. I was thinking of characters I'd like to deconstruct. One character that is desperately deserving of kind of a dark and gritty deconstruction turn is Booster Gold.
Oh, and, yeah.
I mean, if there's one character, you got to see it. So what if we took a comic? It's Booster Gold, but it's a very, very down take. He's been through a lot. He was in that psychiatrist ward, and he's just been through a lot. So he kind of reconciles, and he gets a new job as a time policeman. And here's the catch, though. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
We buddy him up with Crypto. Crypto is like his dog partner in Time Police, and Crypto will be kind of the comic relief. But just as we think this series might go to a better place, it might be a kind of a happier outcome. We brutally murder Crypto's love interest, like the female dog Crypto's dating. We just kill that dog completely in some kind of underground snuff film that Gorilla Grodd is putting out. And this watching his partner be broken, Booster Gold vows, and it becomes like this hard-boiled examination of humanity as he goes to Gorilla City with the mission of just murdering everyone there. And we call it Blue, Gold, and Blood. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, I mean, are you killing enough dogs?
You could reveal that the Crypto, the dog that he was dating, was pregnant with puppies.
Okay, because I also think an important part here to make this all work is that there has to be a reveal that they've been killing dogs for a really long time there, and there are so many dogs, just dead dogs, you can't count them all.
This is the tipping point. So Booster Gold, is he's trying to help out his partner. He stumbles across somewhere in the Suicide Skid Row of Metropolis. These stores are still selling old VHS videotapes, all recorded of just thousands of dog snuff films.
Wow. I was born in the 80s and I was a 90s kid. So video cassettes like that reminds me of a time I remember.
Exactly. And so you get that nostalgia feel. We remind you that they used to exist, and that's that hooks you because it's something you used to have.
It's true. I did have that. And that's really gripping.
Yeah. I think you could have it be very, very dark. And then after that, it sets up Booster Gold really well to be in the Justice League.
No, I mean, absolutely. That's going to be important. The Justice League is going to need more people involved that are okay with brutally murdering entire civilizations in order to get vengeance.
For sure. I mean, that's the direction of that whole team, that series. I mean, it fits in with Zack Snyder's vision of the universe, and just trying to help align some of these properties. I mean, the same thing. You could do the same thing for Guy Gardner. I have a semi-related pitch where Guy Gardner is a right-wing podcaster because, I mean, that just makes sense, and it's today's headlines, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
And then at the same time, Jessica Cruz, she's retired from Green Lantern work. She's become an internet influencer, so she's getting like free hotel rooms and things on her Instagram account. But when a pocket dimension goes bad, the two get trapped together, and they have to find a way to kind of escape without their power rings by using only what they've learned about the internet, and it's called Shades of Green.
Okay, I like that. I think it's going to be important that there's no real antagonist.
Yes, there's no villains in this. There's no villains. There shouldn't really be any pressure. Like this pocket dimension they get into is actually quite nice. It's like a 4-star
Yeah.
hotel. But basically we want to take away any kind of driving threat or anxiety or conflict completely.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what makes the story work. Yeah.
it's like an MMORPG. When people read comics, you just want to like hang out with these characters, have a good time. You're not really looking for a strong narrative to get you from beginning to end. So if we could really just bog down the pacing with a lot of flashbacks, irrelevant information,
Yeah.
uh, dialogue that might have sounded quippy at 3 in the morning on 5 cups of coffee when it was originally written, but
Yeah.
does not play at all once it's on the page.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
It helps set the mood and the story. Like one of those flashbacks could be Guy Gardner. His computer's kind of old and slow, so he goes to buy a new computer, and then his new computer is faster, and that's it.
Yeah, but here's the issue we get with that is then once we introduce the cashier at the store that he's going to buy the computer from, because Guy Gardner's like over 30, he's old and stupid, he still buys things at physical stores.
Yes, exactly. He'll be buying his computer at a Walmart.
Yeah, so this is the problem. When readers get to that and see this cashier, they're going to be like, why don't we have more information on this cashier? Who is this cashier? I want to know everything about them. Who are they dating? Where do they, are they in school? Do they have another job? Like, what's their relationship with their parents? Like, you can't just tease a brand new character to the DC universe like that without, really plotting that all out.
That's true. I maybe you could use the backup stories for that. That's a problem. It is a problem in the pitch because people are going to want to know about that. They're going to want to know like who is the person, who's the host that Jessica Cruz is using for her website. Like, is she going? Like who's the internet host she's using, and what is their backstory? What's their business model? That's what readers want to know.
Well, that and the important thing here too is everything has to be silly and make no sense. So when you're putting something like this together, you pull a random character out of nowhere, like Clarence the Witch Boy, for example, and you go, you know what, Clarence the Witch Boy, this is cool. Why don't we have Clarence the Witch Boy have his own host server or something like that, provide these services?
Yeah, he could be doing it.
Yeah, and then when Clarion shows up in a way that doesn't impact the plot or do anything cool or interesting, the readers will be like, I remember Clarion the Witch Boy because he showed up occasionally in that Young Justice cartoon.
You're right. And that's what it's all about, making mental connections to things we've seen somewhere in the past.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could okay. I can tweak this script a little bit.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, it's almost there. All the blocks are there. You just gotta put them all together, or some other cliche about putting a pitch together. Whatever works for you.
I think we can do it. I mean, the key is that I want to tell the will they or won't they story with Guy Gardner and Jessica Cruz, but actually never answer if they will or they won't. We just end the series before we ever reveal one way or another. That's defying expectations. That's what readers want.
No, absolutely. The problem with comics, particularly DC comics, is they're too quick to solidify relationships and just keep them going.
That's true. Comics in general. I mean, these characters are always matching up. They're always getting into long-term relationships. They never take those away. They just, once they're in a relationship, it's there forever. So that is something I have to think about. Like if you use this, are we forever taking Guy Gardner and Jessica Cruz off the board from future relationship potential? Because once you establish something, it is law. It is law in comics.
No, it is. One other thing you're going to want to add to this pitch is like, we're right with the no antagonists. There shouldn't be. There should be a page or two of a flashback of them fighting like an actual threat. Like maybe they handle like the crime syndicate all by themselves.
Sure.
But here's the key. it's so drowning in narration, you can barely make out what's happening anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the goal is to tell the story of what they're thinking at the time, not
Yeah.
in kind of fight. Like nobody. It's in 2020. Nobody wants to see a fight anymore.
No, it's been there, done that.
Yeah,
you know.
there's so many comics where people are fighting. I am exhausted by it. I mean, enough.
Yeah, the fighting's the backdrop to tell the more compelling story of two people trying to get out of a thing together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you could have some wacky moments there, like when Guy Gardner does find his ring, he finds it, but he's on like one knee when he finds it under a sofa. And then she's like, "Oh my God, are you proposing to me?" He's like, No, this is my ring." And then they have a little fight. And that's the kind of humor I'm looking for.
No, and then we also really have to hammer down some other avenues for jokes. I think it's going to be really important that Jessica Cruz here is more tech savvy than Guy Gardner and just inundate people with jokes about that. Like Guy Gardner can ask Jessica Cruz to like Google something for him, and she's just like, Google it yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I mean, he could make some jokes about needing an AOL disk to start up his computer, and there's so many. There's so like the CD holder could be like a cup holder in his mind. It's on brand for that character for sure.
Yeah, where do I put the CD-ROM? And then Jessica Cruz is just like, "That's a MacBook Air, you idiot!"
Exactly.
and then they just they laugh.
Yes, exactly. Well, I'll have to think of something he could get back with her, like she can't open jars that are tightly sealed, and then that could be funny.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's really good. The jars thing, because that's like my own life. I encounter jars, and some are more difficult to open than others.
Right, and he can just always open jars. It's like his secondary mutation.
Yeah, and then we got to make a joke about like the bowl cut. Like Jessica has to like make some sort of comment about how he does his hair, things like that.
Yeah, that's the tone. That's what we're looking for. This is an ongoing series. I mean, because you need tons of time to tell that story.
Yeah, stories have to breathe. People need to. There's no real payoff if you don't really build it up for people and make them care about these characters. And the way we're going to get them to care is them making snide comments to each other about how they don't understand each other.
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree more. I mean, there's comics today are so like they're always in a hurry to get everything done. They don't just take their time and let the story breathe and mature and crawl at its own pace.
Yeah, I mean, if superheroes really existed, a comic would only really be like 8 minutes in their life. I mean, you'd have to have dozens of comics a day to just do like one day of these people's lives.
That's absurd.
It's just so we're already condensing the story a lot, people. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, we're trimming out all the unnecessary items, like the fighting and the conflict.
Yeah, I mean, if you want that, you play Street Fighter. You want fighting. I mean, why are you reading a comic book?
You fucking idiot. Play a game.
Absolutely. Something I've been thinking about for a little bit here, and it's all there. And the people at Marvel just haven't been able to put the pieces together. The title is Thanos, Love is Warlock.
Oh, I see what you did there.
See, because it's very clear throughout the fan fiction I've written in my whole life and the thirsty fatty tweets when Endgame was coming out that Thanos and Adam Warlock are very clearly lovers.
Absolutely. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, so they've been too cowardly to approach that in the comics. So I suggest we do a story where, enough with the subtext. Let's just make them super gay.
Yes. Finally.
Finally do that. And then, we have all this stuff going on. Like, how's Death going to handle this? Is she going to wipe out half of humanity because, to like get back at them? Or like, what's Nebula going to do? Is she going to like worm her way into like, overthrow Thanos while he's too busy being happy with the love of his life?
Yeah, you've got conflict coming from all sides.
Absolutely. And, depending on when this comes out, maybe there'll be Eternals or Celestials or Galactus. It really depends when whatever movie's coming out around the time this lands, who else is going to appear.
If you just reserve some space in the page for like some big thing, then you'll be fine. You can just kind of assume there's some guy statue type character it's going to show up, and if you could get Alex Ross to do this, he's really good at drawing like sweaty people, and
that's very true. The really important thing about this story that I really want to stress to everyone is that it's very brave, and I'm a good person for telling it.
Yeah, you are. I mean, I can't believe they're letting you get away with this.
I can't either.
It is so brave. I'm actually a little shocked and disgusted, frankly, that it's taken this long for them to do this.
Absolutely. You read comics so long and you just think it's never going to happen because, they're just not interested in telling the story that, quite frankly, is right there on the page. But
it's always been there, and they just have not been brave enough to do it. And good for you. You've done it. You are taking that brave step, and
thank you. Thank you. And then, another thing while we're still dealing with, the Marvel universe, this is a different topic here. Okay. I think everyone who watched that X-Men cartoon in the 90s, two of the favorite characters, big fan favorites were Jubilee and Gambit.
For sure.
But we never really got a Jubilee Gambit sort of like ongoing team up book before where it really just focuses on them.
That's true. I wonder why.
Yeah, it's weird. So here's the title of Jubilee Gambit, Jamboree.
Oh. It's been right in front of our faces this entire time.
Right. And then I figure it'll be based in like, New Orleans, because I don't know that much about Gambit. So sure, New Orleans.
That's what he doesn't ever go anywhere else anyway.
No, he doesn't go anywhere else. It's Mon Ami and whatnot, and Cajun something. And then they'll go to malls if there's still malls in New Orleans. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, they're half underwater, but it'll be fine.
Yeah, so they're hanging out at malls, and then like I figure Shadow King can be the guy because he dresses like he's from New Orleans, right? Like that's
my assumption of what New Orleans is like. Sure.
Yeah, like Shadow King. I mean, he's I know he's not like originally from New Orleans, but he absolutely has the aesthetic of a man from New Orleans.
Yes, and he's fat. So
that exactly, and the white suits and the hats, and I think that's the story.
You could have a lot of like sinister little panels of like the Shadow Kings watching from the shadows, eating some gumbo really slowly.
Yeah, no, it's very compelling, very visual.
Yeah, this could be another Reign of X book, I guess, because they one place where Marvel's really missing the boat is they're not doing nearly enough to flesh out this whole X universe. I mean, Hickman created this idea, and it's like they're just sleeping on really exploring it with more titles and more characters.
Yeah, and I think the way you can kind of exploit this IP more is breaking off more characters into just one or two, maybe a couple more. Because I mean, at this point, there's millions and millions of mutants. So sure. I mean, you could technically have hundreds of thousands of ongoing series easily.
Well, yeah. I mean, the question is why aren't all the comics in the X universe, for that matter? I mean,
yeah.
I had the similar idea, so I was also thinking of that, Krakoa, and what you could do there. And I was thinking, here would be the pitch, but I want to bring on another writer for this. This whole book screams Cullen Bunn, and it is basically he revisits the Chuck Austen period of the X-Men. All right, mm-hmm. And our main point of view character is Doc Annie, or Nurse Annie, I guess. She's a doctor now. She's been going to school, so she's
yeah. No, obviously, I think we all assumed that. Yeah,
character progression, right? She went to school, and basically, Dr. Annie is leading this team of healers on Krakoa, and the trick is they don't want to use the resurrection protocols too much because it kind of wears them out. Hope would like to have some night, some clubbing time. She's always like reviving all these stupid mutants. So they basically set up a hospital on Krakoa, and it's all about kind of witty banter, high stakes medical drama, unexpected romance, tons of comfort food, and we call it XER Level X, except it's pronounced Level 10.
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That's in line with the brand.
Exactly. And the surgery happens on the 10th floor, but it also emergencies are level 10 emergencies. So you have multiple ways that this title makes complete sense.
So here's an idea. I'm just spitballing with you here on that to help get this over the plate. So what we do is, it would make sense that every issue that Angel would have to donate a decent chunk of his blood, to as healing as per the Chuck Austin run.
Right.
So
that's an important piece they need to remember.
Yeah, we need to remember that. So we have a page every issue that's like Nurse Annie taking blood from Angel and having a little bit of banter.
Yes.
We do that, so we reuse that page every issue.
Ooh, that saves money and time.
It does.
That could be your first page of every single comic. It's exact, like you could use the 9-panel grid, which gives us plenty of space for some banter.
Yes.
And it's like they're taking blood, and then we get to the title page, and we get to like a data sheet or two. And before we know it, we've got the first 6 pages of really every comic all wrapped up without the need of any new artist at all.
Yeah, no, that's going to be really important because we're really going to be pumping out a lot of X books. So it's just got to happen.
I'm thinking bi-weekly for this. I think, there's enough mutants, and they're always getting into scraps. So
yeah, that's the problem is bi-weekly is the name of my other pitch about Kate Pride and Dakin.
Oh, well, tell me more.
So no, it's I figure like you gotta put all the bi characters on one team.
Yes, of course.
Richter, Shatterstar. And maybe we touch on it, maybe we don't. But basically, you have them all on one team. Maybe you could even call it something like Disaster Bisexuals, but there's X's in there, so it's like Dicksaster Bisexuals.
Yeah, okay.
And then it's mostly them being catty and saying things like thirst trap.
That's really all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like that. It's and you could fill a pretty good team roster there. Kate Pride, our leader.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Yeah, that works. I like it. I like that a lot. I think I was thinking for DC something kind of, there's this character I'm really fascinated by that really deserves to have more of a more prominence, and it also would coincide with doing something for Wonder Woman. And so there's this character, the Blue Snowman. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
So where's the Blue Snowman today? We don't know where she went, but basically we go through a ripped in the headline story of she's always dressed up like a man, but she's a woman inside the costume. So it's an identity struggle. Mm-hmm. And some of her former teammates in Villains Incorporated are bullying her and just, as she's trying to find her identity. But that allows Wonder Woman to come in and kind of help her out and console her and help get her out of this bad state, so we can really elevate Blue Snowman as a top tier DC character.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's got all the right things. There's some ice powers; those are really popular right now.
Yeah,
you touch on kind of identity and this crisis. You lean into the past. It just feels like there's so much IP there. And you could call this like Cold Be the Touch of Your Heart, but it's really a heartwarming story.
Yeah, no, I mean there's a lot to work with there. There's
sure.
Another thing too, when you're talking about DC, one of the things they haven't been doing enough of lately is really leaning hard into like meta commentary.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, like I'm not all up to date on death metal or anything like that, but I imagine there's no meta commentary or anything like that at all.
There's not really. It's more of a straightforward fight.
Yeah. So here's what you do. Shadows over Infinite Earths.
Ooh.
And this is the meta commentary here is on the direct market's reliance on variant covers and diminishing returns.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know, we really, you know, speak volumes here, and we really, you know, address a serious issue within comics itself, while also utilizing a variant cover scheme that yields diminishing returns to sell the comic.
Oh wow. It's a box within a box. You've inceptionized it.
Yeah.
Wow. You had my interest, but now you have my attention.
Yeah. No, I think that's how you have to do it. You know, you gotta. It's the important thing here. If you take anything away from this particular example, it's that as long as you're saying something, your comic is automatically deeper and more thoughtful, which is inherently better.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. And too many people worry about what is being said, and that's not important. It's just that you're saying something.
That's all you need, you know, which is why whenever anyone doesn't like, you know, comic you like, the important thing is to be really condescending to them and tell them what it actually means, because the only reason they don't like that comic is because they don't get the very, you know, obvious metaphors that are going on within it.
It's true. I think a lot of people forget how fucking stupid everyone else but, you know, you are.
Yeah.
And if you remember a little bit of that, then it helps. It helps in these conversations when you're talking to other comic fans. If you just remember, they're dumb, and maybe you just need to speak a little slower, maybe with more cursing. That always helps. Like if you just say, "Hey, fucking moron," that usually will jolt them into realizing where they've made a mistake.
No, absolutely. It's important, because it's the only way you're going to get someone to see things from your side and potentially come around and enjoy what you like.
I can't agree more.
Yeah.
Wow. I really have to thank you today for all your help you're giving me with my pitches. I think they're going to get a lot stronger, and I'm feeling very positive about 2021.
No problem. Make sure too that you're going through Twitter. You want to get art references of memes to the people you're going to be working with. Make sure this is hip, it's topical, you know, because you really want this to be the GOAT.
My general thought is, as long as my close personal friends say it's awesome, I'm on the right track.
You should only be sharing it with your close personal friends. Other people aren't going to get your vision.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's no point. There's no point to talking to those people at all. Joe, I cannot thank you enough. You are a true friend on this special holiday day, helping out, and you and I, we'll make a comic next year, you and me.
No, we really should, and it's gonna be chef's kiss, people. I'm telling you, chef's kiss for sure. Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you. Everybody. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and have a great, happy holiday. And if I don't, well, happy goodbye.
Yes. Bye.